Imagine the scene for a moment. A huge conference, full of lights and flashes, where the eyes of the world are fixed. On stage, two of the most influential figures of our time, Elon Musk and Donald Trump, stand silently in front of a woman in a wheelchair. Their faces, usually so firm, now show something different. There is a spark of emotion that you don't see every day. They heard his story, they saw his fight, and something in them changed. This woman, with eyes full of strength, told of her daily battles, of the endless nights of pain, of the feeling of being forgotten by a world that keeps running while she remains. But there is a twist. Something in their story touched them in a profound and unexpected way, leading them to a promise no one would ever imagine. It wasn't just an empty promise or a typical political speech. It was something bigger, something that shook everyone there. The words that came out of their mouths, full of emotion, could not be ignored. Do you feel the weight of this? Do you feel the strength of a moment when one person's pain can make giants like them stop and look at the world in a different way? Declare, "I have faith," if you believe in the power of divine intercession. The woman, once fragile in the eyes of many, now becomes a kind of symbol, a reminder that even those who seem forgotten have a strength that can move mountains. And it's not just them, Musk and Trump, who are paying attention. Everyone suddenly seems to see what was previously hidden from view. Can you imagine what it would be like to experience this? The fear of never being heard, the constant pain of being underestimated, of being left aside, until the moment when, finally, the tide changes. Where does this strength come from? How can someone endure so much and still find the way to touch the hardest hearts? I have hope if you believe that even the greatest challenges can be overcome. The promise they made is not just for her, but for all of us. A promise that, yes, the world can be a different place, that those who are silent today, tomorrow, can be the voice that transforms. And that brings up an inevitable question. Do you believe it's possible? What changes like this can start with a simple story, with a simple gesture? Now, imagine what it would be like if you were there, if that woman were you or someone you love, if the promise made was the solution you had been looking for so long. What would you feel? Angry for having waited so long? Relief at finally being seen? Or was it something deeper, a mixture of hope and disbelief, as if the world was finally opening up to new possibilities? I trust in God if you believe that the best is yet to come. It's not just about the promise itself, but about what it represents. A commitment that no one will be left behind, that even the most powerful can be moved by a simple truth. We all have a role to play. We all have a story that deserves to be heard. What happened on that stage was more than an isolated moment. It was an awakening, a reminder that humanity at its core can still be touched, can still be transformed. And the question that remains is, what are you going to do with it? How can you be part of this change? Write Amen if you trust that Padre Pio can intercede for you. Now stop for a moment and reflect on this. Have you ever felt this way? Invisible, fighting forces that seemed impossible to overcome? What if, suddenly, something changed? If, out of nowhere, an invisible hand touched your life and opened doors that were previously closed? This woman in her wheelchair shows us that the impossible can become possible, that even those the world has forgotten can become the center of attention, and more than that, agents of change. Does this inspire you? Does it make you think about what is still possible for you? Let I trust if you believe that God is preparing the best for your life. And then, what's left? Just wait. No, this is a call to action, a call to believe, to have faith that no matter how dark the night may seem, there is always a promise of a new dawn. A promise that now resonates not just in the words of Musk or Trump, but in their own actions, in their own journey of overcoming and faith. What if I told you that this woman in the wheelchair isn't just a distant story? What if it was a reflection of the struggles you face every day, fights that often no one sees, the pain of waking up with a weight on your chest, feeling like the world is moving forward while you are stuck in a cycle of difficulties and doubts? That inner voice that asks you, day after day, if things will ever get better. Now imagine you are her, sitting there with your heart full of stories that no one has heard. And suddenly, the lights come on, the cameras turn on you. It's as if the universe had chosen that moment, that exact instant, to finally say, I see you. But that's not all. This light, this attention, brings something that has long seemed lost: hope. Can you feel the shiver? Can you imagine the weight of a promise that seems to finally break the chains that kept you trapped? Elon Musk, Donald Trump, these titans of the modern world, are known for their toughness, their ambition, their power. And now, faced with a woman the world could ignore, they are changed, transformed by something greater, something that transcends money, success, or fame. Declare, I believe, if you trust in God's greater purpose for your life. But wait, you may think, this is just a story. What does this have to do with me? It has everything to do with it, because her pain, her struggle, could be yours. How many times have you felt like you were fighting alone, that no one could truly understand what you were going through? How many times have you looked around and thought that the people who were supposed to help you were too busy with their own lives? And that's where fear comes in. Because the greatest fear of all is not the pain itself, but the idea that this pain may never end. The idea that the days will continue to repeat themselves with the same suffering, the same loneliness. Have you ever felt this way? Have you ever had that overwhelming feeling that maybe no one will come to save you? But here's the secret this woman teaches us. Sometimes salvation doesn't come from the outside, but from the inside. And that's why you need to stay here until the end. Because what's coming is more than an empty promise. It's a path that can change everything, a path that can give you the tools to transform your own life. I have hope if you know that God never abandons you. And right now you may be wondering, does this really work? Could I be the next one to experience this change? And it is exactly this doubt, this small moment of hesitation, that could be the key to your transformation. Because it is in doubt that we find the greatest opportunities to grow. Now think, what would you do if you knew that at the end of this text, you could find the answer you were looking for? Not just a temporary consolation, but a real, tangible change in your life. Something that can drive away fear, pain, uncertainty, and bring new light, new hope. Right, God is faithful if you believe that He never fails those who have faith. What is about to be revealed is not just a story of overcoming. It's a manual for you, for your life. It's about how you can, like that woman, find strength you never knew you had. And most importantly, it's about how this force can make even the world's biggest giants stop and listen. Do you feel the suspense building? It's your instinct telling you that something important is about to be revealed. And it is not just a revelation about others, but about yourself, about what you are capable of, about how your own suffering can become a source of power. Let I trust in God feel like your victory is coming. Now imagine again, you are there, in the center of attention, but this time, not as someone who needs help, but as someone who has found the way. Have you ever thought about what it would be like to be on the other side of pain? What would it be like to finally feel like things are changing, that the worst is over and the best is yet to come? And that's what makes every word here so crucial, because each paragraph is a step closer to the final revelation, the key that can open the doors you thought were locked forever. Are you going to give up now, or are you going to continue? Will you allow fear to win, or will you let curiosity, hope, take you to the end? Declare, Amen, I believe, if you trust in the divine plan that is to come. Now, one last thing before I continue. Don't wait. Send it to 3 WhatsApp contacts and write, Amen. Today, God will open the right doors for you, because what comes next could be the most important moment of this entire journey. A moment that can finally bring the clarity, peace, and change you so desire. So I ask you, are you ready to continue? Are you ready to see what's waiting for you on the other side of this story? And now, with your heart racing and your thoughts racing, you realize that there is something deeper in this path you are taking. It is not just a story of overcoming, but a promise that transformation is possible for anyone who is willing to go all the way. And deep down, a disturbing question arises. What if I give up now? What if I don't find out what's waiting for me there at the end? This doubt, this fear, is the trap that keeps so many trapped in a life of dissatisfaction and pain. Because what scares the most is not the unknown, but the possibility of losing a unique chance to pass up an opportunity that may never come again. And here's the crux. You can't afford to stop now. There's something you need to see, something that could change everything. Imagine the scene once again. The woman in the wheelchair with her eyes shining is not just being helped, she's becoming a beacon to those who see her. And behind this scene, there's a secret that few people understand. Her pain is not hers alone. It is shared, it is felt by everyone who has experienced insurmountable difficulties. So by continuing, you are not only connecting with her, but with a part of yourself that may have been forgotten. Write, Jesus, I trust in you, if you believe in the transforming power of God. What keeps most people stuck in their lives is not the problems themselves, but the belief that there is no way out, that suffering is a constant, that pain is a permanent companion. But what if it isn't? What if there is a way to transform all of this? It is this mystery that I invite you to unravel. Fear can be a powerful enemy, but it is also a sign that something important is happening. Feeling afraid at this moment is an indication that you are about to discover something that could change your life. And that's exactly why you can't stop. Because what is coming is a key, a revelation that can open doors that seemed locked forever. Do you feel this? The tension, the expectation, the feeling that each word brings you closer to something greater. This is how change begins, with a decision, with the courage to move forward, even when everything inside you screams to give up. And it is this courage that is being tested now. Declare, I have faith, if you believe in the power of divine intercession. Let's talk about the deepest pain, the one you may have never confessed to anyone. The pain of feeling like life is passing you by and you are falling behind, to see other people achieving things that you no longer dare to dream of, waking up every day with a weight on your chest, wondering if one day things will get better. This pain is real and it is suffocating. But what if I told you there was a way to turn that pain into strength, that the same suffering that seems to destroy you can be the fuel for a transformation so great that it will surprise even you? That's what we're talking about here, of a change that is not superficial, but deep and lasting. I have hope if you believe that even the greatest challenges can be overcome. Now take a deep breath and prepare for the next step, because what's coming is not just a promise, it's an opportunity to rewrite your story. And to do that, you need to be fully present, fully committed. Don't let yourself be distracted. Don't let yourself be carried away by tiredness or doubt. This is the time to focus, to open up to what is to come. And here's an important reminder, don't wait. Send it to 3 WhatsApp contacts and write Amen. Today, God will open the right doors for you. You are already so close, and now, more than ever, it's crucial that you keep going, because this next snippet might hold the answer you've been searching for so long. And you don't want to miss that, do you? The promise that was made to that woman in the wheelchair could very well be the promise that is being made to you now. Let I trust if you believe that God is preparing the best for your life. Do you feel the weight of these words? The responsibility to continue, not to give up, to follow until the end. Because what's at stake here isn't just an inspiring story, it's your life, your future, your possibilities. And abandoning now would be the same as closing your eyes to a door that is about to open. And why is this so important? Because the world is full of unfulfilled promises, abandoned dreams, hopes crushed by the weight of reality. But you don't need to be another one in this statistic. You have the chance to do something different, to be different, to believe that yes, there is something bigger waiting for you. Write Amen, I believe, if you trust in the divine plan that is to come. So I ask you again, are you ready to continue, to find out what's on the other side of this story, to finally see the light at the end of the tunnel and know that it is not a train coming your way, but the exit you have been waiting for? If yes, then don't stop. Continue, because your victory is closer than you imagine. Now that you are completely immersed in this story, think for a moment about all the times you felt trapped, helpless, like you were in a dark room without knowing where the exit door is. That suffocating feeling that no matter how hard you try, nothing seems to change. And that's exactly what makes you hesitate, isn't it? The constant doubt that maybe this is just another pro table that will not materialize. But what if this time it's different? What if, instead of another disappointment, this is the turnaround you've been waiting for? That moment when finally the pieces start to fall into place and you realize that there is something much bigger at stake. Something that can not only change your future, but also your present, here and now. Right, God is faithful if you believe that He never fails those who have faith. And maybe you're wondering, how can this be real? How is this transformation possible when everything seems lost? It's exactly this uncertainty that keeps so many people in the same place, fearing to take the next step because the fear of failing again is overwhelming. But remember, the biggest failure is not trying and failing, but never trying. And that's what you need to understand now. Let's talk about what keeps you up at night. Those worries that whisper in your ear, that make your heart beat faster, not with excitement, but with pure fear. The fear that things will never get better, that this pain will be permanent, that your story has already been written with an ending you didn't choose. But what if this ending is not definitive? What if you have the pen in your hand, ready to rewrite the pages that are yet to come? This is the time when you need to believe that change is possible. Because if you don't believe it now, when? If you don't make that decision today, what makes you think it will be easier tomorrow? Declare, I believe, if you trust in God's greater purpose for your life. There is an invisible power operating behind the scenes, and it is waiting for you to take the first step. It's not a question of magic, but of faith, of believing that even when everything seems to fall apart, there is a bigger plan at work. And it is this faith that can transform your life in ways you never imagined. And now I ask you, are you willing to take this step? To put fear aside for a moment and embrace the possibility that there is something extraordinary waiting for you? Because what's coming could be the turning point that will transform your pain into strength, your fear into courage, and your doubt into certainty. Right, Jesus, I trust in you. If you believe in the transforming power of God, can you feel the change in the air? That tension that precedes something big, something that can shake up your life and open doors you didn't even know existed. That's what's happening now. An opportunity to see the world with new eyes, to realize that even in the deepest darkness, there is always a light waiting to shine. And that's why you can't stop here. Because what's waiting for you at the end of this story is not just a conclusion, but a new beginning, a chance to leave behind everything that held you back and finally move forward to the life you deserve. Let I trust if you believe that God is preparing the best for your life. Think about all the times you wished someone just understood what you were going through, that they could see the pain behind your smile, the tears hidden behind your eyes. Now imagine that this person not only sees you, but also has the answers you need. That's what we're talking about here. And once again, the question remains, will you continue? Will you allow this story to take you to where you need to be? Or will you let fear win again, preventing you from achieving what is so close now? There is no time to hesitate. This is your chance to grab life with both hands and not let go. Declare, Amen, I believe, if you trust in the divine plan that is to come. If there's still a part of you that's hesitating, think about what you have to lose if you give up now. All the opportunities, all the doors that could close forever, simply because you chose to stop before reaching the end. What if I told you that the answer to your pain, to your fear, is right there, waiting for you? And now, here we are, on the threshold of something new. You walked through every word, felt every emotion, and most importantly, you didn't give up. This says a lot about you, about your strength, about your ability to resist, even when everything around you seems to be falling apart. And now, with a heart full of hope and a new perspective before you, it's time to take the final step. This journey was not just about discovering a story, but about discovering yourself, about realizing that no matter how difficult things may seem, there is always a path to light, and that path begins with a choice. The choice to believe, to continue, to never give up. So declare with all your heart, I trust in God, because the best is yet to come. Let this truth guide your steps, brighten your days, and take you to where you always knew you should be. And most of all, never forget that even in the darkest nights, there is a promise of a new dawn.